Thanksgiving ice cream. That's like a lick from Matthew. Okay. I'll give you two options and you just choose this one.
You all right with your go?
I got a little.
Wait,
you know, having kids.
Wait. Where are the mics? Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Crabtree Sisters Unfiltered Podcast. And today's episode 3. So the topic of the day is family and relationships. So we're going to talk about a lot today. But before we get started, Q is going to kick us off with some icebreakers.
Okay, so we're going to be playing a Thanksgiving theme, this or that. So I'll give you two options and you choose this or that. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, pumpkin pie or pecan pie?
Pecan.
Why? Is it the salty sweet?
I'm not a big pumpkin fan.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really a big and then I like the crunch. I don't like it to be, it's going to taste like baby food.
Not puree. Mm-hmm. I'm already laughing loud.
What about you?
I would say neither. I would choose sweet potato.
Why did you ask it if you was going to say neither?
I mean, I was just,
why wouldn't you put sweet potato or pumpkin pie?
I got this from the internet. Okay, so turkey or side dishes?
Wait, turkey or what?
Side dishes.
Side dishes, for sure.
Same.
Yes, 100%.
I love a good side dish. I can eat just side dishes.
What's your favorite side dish?
Oh, I was just thinking about mine, dressing or greens. Yeah.
I'm the same.
Yeah.
That sounds funny. That's so funny. Yeah. I love dressing and I love greens.
Yeah.
Mac and cheese is cool, but dressing ain't nothing like dressing and greens. Like that, them two, top tier.
Side tangent. How do you like? Do people say side tangent or they just say
sidebar or side track? No,
I think I just made that up. Side tangent. Do you like wet or dry dressing, or like
middle? I don't want it to be super dry, but I don't want it to be like soupy.
Yeah. Okay. Same. Okay, so well, we already answered that. You're talking about classic stuff and cornbread stuff and neither. Candy yams or sweet potato casserole?
Wait, there's a difference between classic and cornbread stuffing? Because stuffing is made with cornbread, but then classic is made with...
No, cornbread stuff is made with cornbread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's classic stuffing? What's the difference?
See, that in my business. I don't know.
Like flour or something? I don't know. Anyways, go ahead.
Candy yams or sweet potato casserole?
Candy yams or sweet potato.
Because yams and sweet potatoes is different.
I don't even know what a sweet potato casserole is, so I'm going to go with yams.
Okay. So, yams, you like them more starchy, less sweet?
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking sweet potato casserole was just like you make candy yams and just put in a big pan and put some little marshmallows on top.
Like all one thing.
Creme brulee at the top. You know, I don't know.
Sweet potato is probably like slices. And then the casserole is like one, you mix it all together. Maybe it's more mushy.
Oh, that makes more sense. I think you're right. Okay. Last question. Canned cranberry sauce or homemade cranberry sauce?
I don't eat cranberry sauce.
If you had to choose.
Homemade,
yeah. I just choose homemade. I would too. Okay. Well, that was our Thanksgiving icebreaker, this or that questions. If you have any this or that, that was our Thanksgiving icebreaker. That was our Thanksgiving icebreaker, this or that questions. If you have any answers to the questions that we asked here today, drop them in the comments below.
Yeah, we want to know what y'all would choose. What y'all want. Are you ready to get into the topic?
Let's get into it.
Okay. So, today's topic is family and relationships. This week is Thanksgiving. You guys will probably be watching this, later, of course. But Thursday is Thanksgiving and today is Monday. What are you doing? What are you doing?
What's crunching in Okay, I'm sorry. Go. Okay.
But yeah, so basically this week is Thanksgiving, so we're feeling like the family, like spending time together and all of the sorts. So I'm gonna let you start off.
Okay.
But I'm gonna ask one question. What does family mean to you?
Now, before we get into the answer, I'm gonna take my juice shot.
Oh yeah, we got
no alcohol, guys. Cheers. Lord, no funny. Back to your question. I would say what family means to me is people that depend on me and people that I can depend on. And that can be emotionally, mentally, physically, like for protection, financially. Family means a lot to me. So I try my best as a person to understand a natural dynamic and what it should be or what I would want it to be. Like for my family of 5, I feel like I can be very patient sometimes with my kids and my husband, and sometimes I'm just not. And being able to openly express like mommy is not feeling it today, or to my husband like baby, I am on my own last nerve today. Like let's just kind of like just let me just chill by myself. So I think open communication, showing love, but also in relationships you have to love yourself first and know how you like to be loved and know how you like to show love. I feel like if you get in a relationship and you don't have a lot of love for yourself, it can be kind of hard and challenging for yourself and your partner to understand how to love you and how to make your partner feel loved.
That's good.
Or other people in your life. What about you? What does family mean to you?
Community. Family is like having a community that, you can't really get rid of.
And they still here? God, fine.
Yeah, just having a community that you can't get rid of, but not even that. It's just about like a community that you grow with, like that watches you grow, that you've seen other people grow, and you feel like, to me, like in the midst of family, it's relationships, individual relationships with each person in your family. So like, okay. So just see.
Lickety like. Okay.
Okay. But yeah, just seeing others grow around you and learning how to navigate and maneuver through like life, and doing life together with people that you love and support. It's also a sense of loyalty, not to a fault, but like with boundaries.
Yeah, I love that. I'm gonna make some tea. Can we take a quick 2-minute break?
We took a quick break, so now we have teacups here.
Yes.
You were wondering.
Needed tea. Because we're about to spill the tea. No. Okay, Jasmine, so my next question is for you. Do you feel that how you were raised at home has a lot to do with the person that you are today and how you interact with people, whether it's with conflict or loving your friends, family, loved ones, etc. Yeah, how does that play a role in your relationship today?
Most definitely. Just because, yes. In short, yes. Because I just feel like there are things from my childhood that there's. I hope y'all can hear my stomach growling.
That must be great. Okay.
There are some things that I learned from my childhood that I still do to this day, I feel like. And there are some things that I left in with my childhood, like that I had to break the bad habit, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I definitely. What was the question? You said, do I think how I was raised
has a lot to play, basically, in how you are today and how you handle conflicts in your relationships, and how you love in your relationships, things of that nature.
Okay. You can tell I didn't pay attention in school. Okay, so yes, to answer your question, everything I just said, and on top of that, maneuvering through relationships was hard for me at the beginning. Just because.
What do you mean at the beginning?
At the beginning of life. No. But like,
came out the womb, like
when I was coming into adulthood, like.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
The womb. When I was just coming into adulthood, like maybe high school, college years, I feel like a lot of the things I did in high school wasn't really, it was just something that I was doing off of the things that I've learned and the things that I was influenced by at that time. But as I grew and got older, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Okay. I feel like I was about to say something else, but I don't remember. I think I just started going somewhere else. So anyways, to get back on track, just relationships in general is a tough conversation for me. Well, not right now, but like in general, it's a tough conversation for others to hear. One of the main things that I can say that was my weakness in relationships was not being able to take criticism. Like, I grew up with the mindset of I was always right. I mean, that's not a true statement, but I grew up with that mindset, and I grew up with the mindset of if someone tells me how to do something differently, I don't want to hear it. It was like a stubborn tug and pull along with not wanting to be criticized, because I had at the time felt like if you criticized me, then you were my enemy, or you were hating on me, or you don't know what you're talking about. Like, I didn't like criticism. I didn't know how to accept it and take it in as not hate. But yeah. Not that answered your question.
It did. So it answered like how you are, but then how do you handle conflict? I mean, you were kind of touched on it. You were saying like, well, sometimes I would feel like they were, you're not on my team, you're not on my side. But then how would you then handle that? Like, how would you communicate that?
How did I get through that?
Well, how did you communicate it to the person? Like, you never did it. You just kind of like shut it off.
I was bad. I would shut it. I would like cut people off, shut down, and that's it. Like, they criticized me, and I didn't want nothing to do with them anymore, and I ran away from it. I ran away from criticism. So I would have people around me that would just agree with me, and then I realized one day, like, this is not okay. This is not okay, because I don't want people to just agree with me. It got old, and I feel like I need somebody to challenge me. I need someone to tell me the truth. Like, I don't want to always be right. I have to like come to that realization. And accepting criticism is something that I feel like I struggle with, because I consider myself like a golden child, which means to me it's like your parent was the hardest on you and they expected you to be the most perfect, because your family in general, you made all these mistakes, or their other kids made all these mistakes or something.
It's me. She's helping me, y'all. I made the mistake.
Yeah, she was bad.
No, we're not talking about it yet.
She was, she's on a different level than I.
No, she can not talk. You gotta answer your question.
I'm answering the question. Let the record show. She was on another level. Okay, back to me. But yeah, that's just really how I felt that came about of me not being able to accept criticism. But now, I honestly didn't know how to start accepting criticism until like I met my husband, because that man is so honest, brutally honest, that it hurts my feelings. When we first met, I was like, "You're rude," and I had to learn how to like accept criticism, and then I realized like this is actually helping me.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully that sums up me and criticism.
Yeah, I think you did. You touched on points about like how you grew up and like you felt this independence, and you're like, I want to be right. Like nobody can tell me wrong. I know everything. Can't nobody tell me anything. I think you went through that phase of like, okay, well that's boring and that's not helpful at all, and I can't grow if everybody agrees with me, which I also would say the same thing. And then you talk about how like you had to adjust yourself in order for people to fit into your life. That's what I heard. Yeah.
So about you?
What?
I'll quit. T.
Quite.
No,
the girl is British.
This is sidetrack. With your last name is funny because Siri does not know how to pronounce your last name. Clearly. Mm-hmm. And so when Zach was trying to call you the other day, he was like, "Hey Siri, call Angela Pushnot." And there, Siri wasn't picking it up. I said, you have to say Angela Posniak.
So, watch this. Hey Siri, call Mr. Pushnok.
Calling Mr. Posniak.
So it says Posniak. So I'm trying her to
know. I guess because you said probably
all the time.
But no, that was sidetrack.
Yeah. What was the question?
Oh, yeah. So the question is, how did you handle relationships, and how do you think your childhood or the way that you were brought up, like, shaped how you handle relationships today? What has it taught you?
I learned early on that it was me, just me. That's it. And no one else can do the work for me. They can give me coping mechanisms or maybe skills in life to add on to what makes me a person today. But I had to quickly realize that nobody is going to really have my back like I do. Like I'm always like me versus me in everything. And growing up, I always stood up to adults, children, not in like a mean way, but I was always questioning the why behind why I'm doing something. So if an adult tells me I dance, like I said, I mentioned we danced for a long time, and so if someone is telling me point your toe outward, I want to know why they're telling me that. Not because I'm being defiant, but more so like for my own understanding. Is it for the health of my body? Is it for the look you're going for in this type of dance? And also, too, I feel like I was in situations as a kid that I couldn't control because of the adults around me. And so I always want to find that sense of like, I guess that's where my sense of like a little bit of control came in as to why. Like pushing the boundary of telling me more so I don't feel so out of control. Tell me more so I feel safe. Because there were a lot of situations where I just didn't feel safe when I was growing up. And so I had to put on this tough exterior, this independent exterior, and which soon became my interior. And I wouldn't stop at nothing to get what I wanted in life. And I felt that was pretty cold of me. I had a child young, and I loved her with all my might, but I still felt like even going through that, being a single mother, I felt, no, I'm going to be by myself. It's going to be me and my baby for the rest of the time. But I did went on a self-love journey, and I had to learn how to love myself, accept all the changes that were happening with my body, accept everybody criticizing me, because no matter if you're doing things right or wrong, people are still going to talk about you regardless. So I had to accept that and tell myself that. And that's what made me who I am today, is really not giving a crap about a lot of things and just focusing on how do I like to be loved? Am I ensuring that I'm showing my own self-love? And how do I communicate how I like to be loved to others?
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. Do you have any conflicts right now that you're in with friends or family?
Conflicts?
Mm-hmm.
Not that I know. Not that I know of. Conflicts? No. I wouldn't say I'm in conflict with anybody at this moment. At this stage of my life, I'm at peace. So, like, meaning if there is conflict anywhere, just even a little bit, I don't see it as that. I still see love with that person, if that makes sense. I'm trying to think of, it's not conflict, but it's like, you know how when you don't feel close to some people?
Yeah.
That's not conflict to me. It's just like, you don't have that relationship. The relationship is not, it's not growing in a way.
Yeah.
So I have some of that, but I don't have conflict. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Distance.
Yes.
Yeah,
distance. Yeah. What about you? You have conflict?
I got conflicts with a lot of motherfuckers.
Where they at? I'm just kidding.
No, I don't feel. So here's the thing. I know in a lot of situations I'm not gonna be right. In some situations I may be wrong. It's hiding. You alright? Okay. So I know in some situations I'm gonna be wrong, but I would just always love the opportunity to talk through things healthily. And I feel like when I have friends or family that I have been close to and they just refuse to talk about things in a healthy way, it pisses me off a little bit, because I know you know this why. Because I already think, because I'm a white person too, but I just feel like if you're not trying to talk through things and you're doing an avoidance, and I understand that may be how they deal with conflict, but if it is an equal partnership, no matter what it is, I feel like I should still be heard. Not my side, but like, let's try to figure it out because I love you or I want you in my life. Let's do the therapy together. Let's hang out. Let's just have, let the first day we hang out again, just be chill, light. And then as time grows, like we then talk about our conflict, especially if I love my relationship with that person and I actually want it to work. And I know that person is like 75% like, I do want to work, but I don't want to put in the work. That part. That
was going to be my next question. Like, sometimes people don't want to put in the work.
Pisses me off because it's like there are so many good people out there that, and maybe that's just, you know, God's timing and God cutting people out of your life, really discernment that I definitely ask for all the time. But I love family and friends, especially when they solid. So it kind of sucks that they get in their own way of having a healthy relationship with me or my children or my husband.
So what is something that you know cuts people off from relationship with you? And meaning like,
I got it. Okay. Something that makes people want to avoid relationships with me or not even want to have conversations with me is a past version of myself. And I feel like I'm still her, but I have evolved over time, which I feel humans do naturally. And I feel like people are stuck in what happened and what was in that moment and think that nothing has changed. They think that I haven't thought about what I said. And a lot of times people will make up a narrative that I myself am too stubborn to hear something, which I don't think that. I feel like I see both sides of like a lot of stuff. Even when people are overly being obnoxious towards me.
They mix stubbornness with boundaries sometimes.
Mix it up, yeah. Pause. My story yesterday, I forgot about this. Okay, so this is a side tangent. I was going yesterday. I was out with my family. We were out in a little shops or whatever. And I wanted to get some food. Well, we all wanted to get food, but I wanted to get food from a different place. So my husband was like, I'll drop you here. I'm going to go to the coffee. It's right on the corner. I'm going to go there. So I get out, I'm waiting for my food, 15 minutes pass. He's like, oh, my husband texts me, coffee's taking forever. I was like, it's fine, my food's not out. So he finally comes back, and it's been like a little bit over 15 minutes, and I was like, I think my food's about to come out. He's like, hey, I'm going to go pick up the pizza across the street for the kids, and I'll come back and pick you up. Is it okay? That's fine. But before I said that's fine, something in me was like, I kind of want him to wait here. But the intuition, I was like, just go get it and come back. Think about the kids. And so I finally get my food, and I don't want to stay in there. I like walking around, and it was like a little park right across. So I come out, and I'm walking, and I'm texting my husband with my head down. I had scanned the sidewalk. There was like 2 people on it. Scan the parking lot. That's just something I do when I'm just by myself. So I go to my phone, and I hear somebody walking like, and I'm like, who is stomping outside? How you stomp on concrete and it's loud? So I just look back like any normal person, look back. And this guy held his backpack, and I remember him vividly. He was khaki pants, a jacket, a backpack, and I can hear him. He wasn't loud, but he was loud enough so I can hear him. He's like, yeah, I'm stalking you. You think you're hot shit. And I can hear him. So I come up to the corner, and I stopped because I wasn't going to cross the street. I was going to go the opposite direction because I was just going to wait and see where he went. And so I just stopped on my phone, and I just looked back, and I just went to my phone again. Like, because I try not to get out of character for people that I don't, just in general. I don't even know this man from a can of paint, whatever. And so he says, he gets closer to me because it's going to cross the street. And he's like, I'd shoot myself in the head before I try to stalk you. And all of that, and I just crossed the road and went up to the park. That was across the street, and my husband came a couple minutes later, and I told him what happened. He's like, are you okay? I was this close to being like, hit the corner, hit the corner. And I had like kids in the car, and I was just like, you know what? I'm fine. Let's just go home. I'm hungry. Let me just go eat. And I hadn't eaten too, so I was like, maybe that's, let me just calm down. And I just thought to myself, what in that man's life? I feel like that was racially and sexually motivated, his comments, just because I looked back. And he felt the need to ask, oh, you think you're hot shit? You think you're this, you think, wow, really? So your mother didn't love you. So if your mama knew you was out here talking like that, she'd be okay. If your daddy knew you was out here talking like that, they'll be okay. Your sister, your whoever. And if you don't got that and you weren't raised to show compassion for other people, that is insane to me how just people's upbringings and relationships will have them out here acting like miserable people. And that's exactly what I felt. And that's why I was like, you know what, let me be silent in this moment because I don't want to cause a scene. Because I know they don't, if the police show up, they're going to try to arrest me. Period. That's just what's going to happen.
That's so sad.
They're not going to take my side. It's going to be his word against mine. And this man was a sweaty looking man. And I was by myself at the time. So he wasn't yelling he wasn't yelling. But he was very much, I feel like he was very intentional about him being this nasty person. And I don't know.
So, in that, why do you feel like, I know you don't know for sure, no one will ever know, nobody's in that man's head, but why do you feel like he felt the need to act that way? Is it because he felt like he looked back a certain way, like you were scared, or you
Girl,
were just
I don't be looking scared. I just look back like, just like a quick glance. And he was just saying all this stuff. I mean, when I look at people, I have no expression on my face. It's very bland, very dry. It was just a quick glance.
Because you mentioned that he was saying, because he already knew why you were looking back. What was the first thing he said again?
He said something like, yeah, like I'd be stalking you. Or, yeah, I'm stalking you.
That's what I'm saying. That is his instant. It's like, low-key, he might have been stalking you. Because why are you thinking like that if I look back?
You know, I feel like, side tangent, I feel like the internet has made men feel a certain way because, you know, we as women get online and we do express, like, there are times when we feel like we're in danger because a man can't take no for an answer or whatever the case may be. Like, that guy attacked me verbally for no reason.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't say a word to him. I didn't look at him for more than a second. And it's just the fact that he felt so comfortable. I said that man looked like he'd murder people and still have a 9 to 5.
Serial killer vibes, yeah.
Yeah.
When you said that, it made me think of, like, when, you know how you just be having a good day. Like,
the day was perfect.
Day.
It was perfect.
And you're in a great mood, but then somebody gets in front of you and they are not in a great mood. They're not having a great day.
They intentionally face you. They intentionally face you.
Yeah. It's like they were sent for you. They're sent to ruin your day if you let them. Like, I feel like that's like tactics of the enemy. Like, it want, like, to take your energy. Like, the energy exchange that's in it. Like, if you were to get riled up in that situation, it would have been like,
it would have been all bad.
It would have been bad, but then after the fact, me naturally, I would have been like, oh, dang.
I didn't have to do
best
that.
of me. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Because when you do go there, because we don't always hold back.
No, we ain't always holding back.
We are human.
Yes.
So when you do go there, you do feel bad. Like, I felt bad. Like, I've done that, and I felt so bad after the fact. But, like, in the midst of it, I love when my brain switches from offense to, oh, you are. Like, oh, you were sent to, you trying to.
Self-control and self-awareness.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was acting out of offense. He was offended.
He was offended because I was rude.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so sad that some people just can't let others be happy. You're so miserable in life that you can't just let people be happy. I was telling Jazz that I was like, I'm so happy that with everything that I've gone through, I haven't let the world spit me up and chew me out. Or chew me up and spit me out. Dirk ain't saying it right. Chew me up and spit me out. I'm so glad I didn't let the world do that. That man looked like he had been chewed up and spit out. And the world was at his fingertips. Can you imagine the mental block you have to have if the world is at your fingertips? No matter your socioeconomic status, you still got plenty of opportunities. And you're out here terrorizing people like little old me. Mm-hmm. Definitely an op.
That's what I mean. Like,
you're like an op.
Your mind, when I say op, I'm just using slang. But really, it's like, you definitely was sent here. Yeah. Okay, you definitely, okay. I see what type of time you're on, kind of thing. Like, I see what type of time you're on. I got it.
I think that self-awareness and self-control, I have not always had. I think self-control has come from me having a lot of discipline from the military. I think it also has come from situations where I'm like, okay, I was a bad guy in that because my energy was off. And so being able to see that, like, in full view, plain sight, I'm like, uh-oh. But yeah, that it's just self-control and self-awareness is super important, and it's something that I've learned, and I hold tight to when I can.
I think it's important too when maneuvering through relationships, because if you're not self-aware, you can kind of like tarnish your relationship. Is tarnish a good word?
Yep, tarnish, yeah.
Tarnish your relationship with others because you're not aware of what you're doing, like the part in the role that you play in any situation.
So I'll share another story. I'm gonna try to make it short because I talk a lot. But okay, so there was this guy I was dating way back when, and this guy was young as well. He had gone through his own stuff. He was also going on, but now that I'm out of their relationship, at the time he was like, you were going through a lot. He would always say, you went through a lot, because I just came out of a domestic violence situation. And he was like, you just went through a lot, so I'll give you a pass. I'll give you a pass. I'll give you a pass. No, stop giving me a pass, and let's deal with stuff that happens here. I do dislike that when I do share that I've gone through things, that people will be like, oh, well, I'm not him. And I'm like, well, I know that, but your pattern of behavior early on is showing him. I'm not saying we're going to have a domestic violence situation, but the communication, the lack of caring, the lack of responsibility, like that, those are all things I saw in the previous guy. Not saying you're him, but you're showing a pattern of behavior. And it's easy to spot once you've been through it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like moving through new relationships once you've been hurt and once you've been taken through a whirlwind is important to take away from that. Like, not poor me, not the victim mentality, right? But why did I attract that person? What in me attracted that person? What in me allowed that to happen? And why do I not think I'm enough because I'm being treated like this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are important conversations in general to have with yourself after any situation, but even before you get into new situations, because I feel like a lot of times we just be doing stuff, y'all. We just be doing things.
But you know what? It gives you experience.
It gives
you a lot of experience.
It's good because we're here today and we are able to talk through it and understand where we come from. But I feel like the main or the common denominator in all of relationship issues is yourself. It starts with you. It starts with it. It's with God. Like, do you know yourself? Do you know who God is? Do you know who He called you to be? Do you know why you're here on earth? And do you know how to love yourself and others? And if you don't know any of that, then it's going to be hard to maneuver through any relationship. Point blank. Period.
What if you know yourself, right?
Yeah.
You meet someone and you're like 3 months into dating. You're doing everything that you want them to do. Mm-hmm. And you're doing everything for them and they feel loved, quote unquote. And that behavior sort of shifts one day. Shifts. You mention it. And say, oh, I'm sorry. Won't happen again. It doesn't happen again for a while. It shifts again. Mm-hmm. And not in a big way. Like, hey, you didn't open my car door. Or, hey, you didn't do this. It's a shift. It's a small shift. I think that you can still love yourself and have boundaries and have a bar. But sometimes I will say, before you know it, you are enveloped in a dangerous whirlwind of how the heck do I get out of it?
I get that.
Yes.
I 100% agree. I'm not saying, like, when you know yourself, your relationship's going to be perfect. I'm saying when you know yourself, it's like you know how to handle relationships better. So you know how to communicate what you want better. You know,
because I didn't know how to do it before.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like that. And that situation is crazy. May that situation never find me.
Holy water on it, okay?
That situation is pretty, but that's common though. Like, people put on a facade and they will act like the most perfect person, and then you get to know them. But the signs are always there. We just ignore them.
There.
They
are flaming red flags, like hot Cheeto red flags. The thing is, too, like, I didn't plan to, just going back to my first relationship out of high school, is I didn't plan to have a baby at the time. I had an ambition. I was 19. On birth control, might I add. faithfully taking my birth control. And yeah, I got pregnant while I was on birth control. And I didn't know I was pregnant until 5 months in. I was so skinny, still on my heart. Workouts, military workouts. Like, I was actually deployed at the time. They had to fly me out of the area back to the United States. But it was definitely one of those things where it's just like, I do not, and there was no way for me, I didn't have any options either. Because I was on a ship and it was too late to do anything else. And so I decided I'll make it work because I don't want a broken home. And you try to kind of look for what your parents didn't give you and the relationships that I was building at a young age. So I was 19. I had my oldest daughter when I turned 20. And I went through domestic violence, which is me fighting a grown man, 6 foot, one grown man, 230 pounds, for about a year off and on. And off and on, I said, because he would deploy and leave. And I tricked him. I said, let's just go to Florida together. Let's get orders to Florida. Because I knew it was easy for us to get orders out to Florida because we had the same job. Let's get orders out to Florida. Baby, before he even left for Florida, I had cleaned out my apartment. He went to work one day. Got my friends cleaned out his apartment. We was out there. It was gone. Empty. Bowling ball bag in the middle of the floor. But,
ball. Who was bowling it? You?
He was bowling.
Oh.
He didn't own nothing in that apartment. Flag. On flag. And so, I left. He tried to follow me for a while. He did have friends follow me. It had like a clique of like wife beaters. It was crazy. I know. That was also something I learned.
That's so sad.
That is very crazy and sad. It was like 6 of them. And then, yeah, after that, I moved on.
So you actually going through a situation like domestic violence, and I'm sure a lot of people out there can relate. So I wanted to ask you, what is something that you feel like that situation taught you, and that you can use now in today's relationships? And two, how did you get through? I got a 2-part question. How did you get to the realization in your mind, like, I can't stay here? And how did you get through that? Like, leaving?
Okay. So something I learned from that relationship that I take into all relationships is how to communicate. I would communicate so terribly because this is a tit for tat, one up situation, so don't judge me. Or judge me, whatever. He would say things that were just out of pocket. And I'm very powerful. I feel like I'm very intellectual when it comes to insults. And that's why I don't do them a lot of times. Because I feel like they will hurt people and stay with them forever. And I did that with him. I told him limb from limb with my words and with my little 2-piece combo that I had to do. But I definitely learned that that's not effective communication. Like, turning somebody down, you turn me down. That's whack. That is so whack. That's the biggest thing for avoidance. That's the biggest lack of self-love. Like, you don't need to turn nobody down to communicate. And something that that's something I take with me in every relationship is how to communicate. Pausing before saying exactly what you want to say that you know will hurt. Pause. Be silent. Be like, can we talk? I actually don't feel like I'm in a space to talk about this right now. Can we just talk about it like a little later today? Or that's it. Okay, so I remember now. I knew the first time I had an altercation with him that I knew, like, okay. Nope. I gotta get out. I was pregnant, actually. Kicked me in my stomach, punched me, all sorts of stuff. And I was like, okay, well, this was fun, but I gotta go. I just knew at that time, like, in my mind, I was planning from that moment. So from the initial abuse, I was planning. Before my daughter was born, just trying to figure it out, because it's very hard to move when you guys are both at the same job. You both are in the military. There's only a set number of apartments and places you can stay within the area. You have to stay within a certain amount. Like, it was a whole thing. So I had to be strategic. And I got others to help me. So, yeah, that's what I knew. And then,
how did you get through that?
Oh, coping. Therapy didn't help. Therapy was terrible because it was like, therapy you got Vegas, and I don't know, I just didn't find good therapists. None of them looked like me. None of them seemed like they'd gone through what I'd gone through. Not saying they have to, but none of them seemed really sympathetic or even empathetic to what had happened to me. I feel like everybody just kind of brushed it. No one knew what I went through, and they just brushed it under the rug.
They just like made it a norm. Like, oh, okay, let's hush this up real quick. Let's give her some help. Let's make her forget about it.
Here, this is the medication you can take.
Yeah.
And on that medication, might I add, there were like thoughts that I never had before taking the medication. And I said, oh no.
That's the thing.
Yeah, no.
They are killing people. No, seriously, this is not a joke. This is not a drill. You have to be careful who you prescribe medications to, because medication is not the answer.
Not for everybody.
No, some people it might help. It might help tremendously, but that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And I took it for like I think a couple of weeks, and then I just kind of weaned myself off of it because it was just I felt like I didn't feel like me anymore. Plus, on top of that, going through the transition of like being a single mother now, like oh my god, there's nothing. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be a single mother. I just got out of this relationship. I dislike everybody. Nobody came to my rescue. Nobody. And nobody could. That's the thing. Nobody could come to the rescue but me. That's how it is. Now, I feel like if certain women have like certain men in their lives, like uncles, big brothers, that are tight with them, that would never happen to them. And I don't know, it may have happened, but like it's less likely to happen when you're close with your family. If you got guys looking out for you, it's less likely that a guy's gonna try to pull up on you. If you one time, you'll never do it again.
Yeah, because you gotta remember,
you're protected. Yeah,
a father, a biological. We grew up without a father in the home, and we grew up with, we didn't have brothers. It was all sisters. We had cousins and stuff and uncles, but it wasn't the same.
Yeah, I feel like our family is great. They're hilarious.
Yeah,
and I feel like as we grew older, we just grew apart. And now I felt like I was out in this world unprotected. Like, nobody's watching over me for my safety. It's me and me. And so to be married, it's a little kind of intertwining with my life now. To be married for 11 years and next month is just a blessing because he understands that I understand my marriage and what I'm in it for. I understand that my marriage is a financial decision. I understand my marriage is a protection decision, a safety decision, a full dual parent home decision. I know that now. And you can romanticize marriage. That's great. I did. It was great. And I still do. But they're a key factor that you have to have in your marriage. Financial, safe. You got to go safe. You got to make sure your kids are safe. And you and your partner. I said all that to say. I ended up seeing my ex-fiance I don't know where
So be clear,
yeah.
They don't know you.
Yeah.
Ex-fiance is a past relationship.
Yes, the domestic violence. Yeah, my ex-fiance. I ended up seeing him out, I think with his wife maybe, I don't know. So this moment comes to me so vividly, and it's very powerful for me because my husband and I were having a date night. Got my makeup done, my hair was done, I felt really cute. And
love a good date night.
I love a good date night. And my husband was like, I can drop you off at the front. This is my favorite thing about him. He's just always trying to make my life easier when he can. And he says, I'll drop you off at the front so you don't have to walk. I know you got on heels. I said, okay, yeah, do that, baby. And so I'm walking up. I'm just feeling like, you know, I'm feeling like I'm that girl because I am. I feel like that. And I see this space from afar. And I notice him before he noticed me because I see everything. I've looked at him and I glanced away and acted like I did not see them. And I could tell he was having a side conversation. You know how you try to walk by and people try to talk louder to get you to look at them?
Yep.
He's done that plenty of times before. I just noticed that person like the back of my hand. And I just acted like I didn't see them. And they were having a problem getting in or whatever the ticket situation was. And I looked back and I saw my husband reaching for my hand. We walked into the place and I told him, I said, hey, you know, my ex-fiance's out there. And just saw him, and I just feel incredible right now to know that I am not who I was.
That's amazing.
Are you okay? Do we need to leave? No, we're going to see a comedy show. Let's go.
Big C.
Yes.
Coming to the rescue.
I just, not even a rescue. I feel like I rescued myself before I met him.
No.
Oh,
And
okay.
that just trying to come to the rescue. in
Oh,
that
it's
situation.
very comforting. He's
Yeah.
very much like a protector. And I just felt so powerful. I did. I mean, I felt powerful years ago when I left, but in that moment, to see how someone had not changed their ways and still inflicting that pain on other people. Sad, but I'm glad I'm not her.
So before we wrap up, I wanted, because we said a lot. We talked about things that a lot of people probably didn't know about you. And we talked about a very serious topic of domestic violence. And I just want to know, when you go through something like that, it's painful, I'm sure. No, I have no experience with it, but how do you learn to forgive yourself and the other person?
Oh, yeah, I forgave myself a long time ago because I was beating myself up about it. Like, girl, how did you do that? You wasted time. Like, I think about, like, I got a whole daughter out of that. God bless me with a daughter.
Why black people always talk about a whole daughter, a whole something?
Not a half because she's still living. She grown. She's be grown. A whole daughter out here. And my part in this has been intertwined, was much bigger than just going through that. I was meant to be Jayla's mom. I was meant to be my oldest daughter. And sometimes God blesses us with things in the most inconvenient ways. I'll say that. Sometimes it's not always be pretty. We talked about that in other episodes. It's not always going to be pretty and wrapped up with a bow. But I forgave him a long time ago. I forgave myself a long time ago. And I did that when I started dating. Because I started dating shortly after that, just to kind of go through the motions, like, because I still want to feel protected. So I quickly got a boyfriend to use him as protector. Like, please, like, if somebody come up, I need you to fight. Okay, I got it. What he do? Like, and I love that for my boyfriend at the time. But yeah, I quickly was like, let me find somebody to protect my house or my apartment. That way I can focus on healing. But yeah, that's it.
Someone going crazy over here. Okay.
Need to feed you.
Well, that was good. That was a good segment. We are going to do a part 2 just because we're still talking about relationships. And like I said, relationships can go on and on and on. Just so we can get into more, so you guys can know a little bit more about us, so we can get into more of our relationship, the dynamic we have as sisters, friends, whatever you want to call it. We got a million names for it, but
yeah, we do.
So stay tuned for part 2. I know you guys, the conversation, I hope that you guys are able to like chime in on the conversation and let us know below some of your stories, some of the ways that you navigate through relationships, and some of the resources that helped you cope with difficult situations in relationships. So anything you want to add?
No, look, no, don't add something. I don't have nothing, but I would say just always choose love, like true love in your heart, which means, like I said, start. I'm not saying she's not showing herself no love, y'all. Her stomach is like, girl, you need to eat. But just self-love and respect others' choices, and don't be so quick to assume or jump to a conclusion. Really communicate with people that you truly love and that love you back. No red flags included.
You heard that key, that love you back. And know what love is.
For you.
Yes.
Because love, my kids think love is me making them pancakes with an apron on and then making cookies for they bake sale at school. No, that's not me, baby, but I do love you. I show up in other ways for those kids, but yeah.
Yeah, that's sweet. Well, we enjoyed this, guys. We will see y'all in part 2. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and follow us on all platforms. We have social media. We have Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Do you have Snapchat?
I have Snapchat, but I just really want my Instagram and
TikTok. Okay. Yeah. So follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and then make sure you like this video, comment below, interact with us, and we'll see y'all next time.
Yeah. We'd love to hear your stories.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. Bye, guys.
Bye.